you got a little vision that you want to see through, the Intentional Podcast is the one for you.
Representation matters. It matters more than you think. It changes lives. It puts people on the path of fulfillment, something I feel like today's society is really struggling to obtain. A lot of people are chasing a high that they don't even want, and it ultimately becomes an even lower low. You deserve to follow your path. And if you don't see anyone in that sector, please be a pioneer. Do it. Because someone is out there watching you work your magic and thinking, damn, I could do it too if they've done it. And they will do it. They will push the legacy further. There is a huge gap in mainstream entertainment for South Asian representation. And I started off my YouTube channel as a way to just get my foot in the door. And it really was that. I was recreating scenes from my favorite movie and TV scenes, putting myself in these main character roles when I wasn't main character in my life. And it gave me a sense of stability and purpose that if I can just record myself pretending to be these people, maybe one day I will be the lead in a film. And I was. Yes, it was my own film, but guess what? I still did it, and it still counts. Baby steps to the bigger picture. Every single time I've been on a professional set, it kind of aches me to say that I've never felt like I'm in a sector where I feel seen in. It's always been very white. And that's just the reality of the industry. And surprisingly, the one time I ever felt like, oh my God, like I feel safe was when I was playing an extra in Picture This, the Simone Ashley film on Amazon Prime. And it was a South Asian production. The crew was South Asian, cast was South Asian. It just made me feel worthy of being on set because I wasn't compromising myself, trying to act a different way to fit in with white people. I was simply able to exist as myself, as a South Asian, and it was so refreshing. I don't even know how we got to that topic, but let's continue talking about my on-set experiences and why this links back to representation and why it matters so much. I remember when I first was filming my debut commercial for Samsung and EE, I walked onto set and I went through a different entrance to the main featured cast where they were supposed to enter. So I enter, I sit down, it's just with the extras. I'm like, cool, like I've never been to a commercial set before. I guess everyone sits with each other. That's just standard process to me. I don't think there's any hierarchy or there should be any hierarchy in that regard. But then the person who was managing, I think she was AD, she comes in and asks for my name. I said, yeah, so this is my name. She said, yeah, go sit over there with the extras. So I did. Then she comes back. She says, sorry, what was your name? I tell her my name again. Her whole demeanor changed. When she knew that I was a featured role, bear in mind I was just a walk-on role, which is, in acting terms, a little bit more than extra, okay? But her demeanor changed, and I was immediately shifted from the extra room to the featured cast room, and it was made to feel like, damn, like there is some sort of division over here, which, okay, cool, like you want to prioritize the featured cast, that's fine. But just assuming that someone like me wouldn't be a featured cast was kind of like, okay, like, and to me, I didn't know any better. After being on that South Asian set, like I learned, like, we are all the same. Like, it's not supposed to be so divided. But that set really opened up my eyes. I did have a great time on the set, and the people I met, besides that one person, were great as well. But the next month I had another audition and an in-person meeting, and I actually booked that role, but my scene was cut out from it. But again, the same situation happened where I wasn't assumed to be an extra, but I was kind of treated like, are you lost? Like, I remember walking into the area they were filming in, and the crew just looking at me like, are you lost? Like, are you supposed to be here? And maybe that was not their intention, but it really was giving like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? But the story feels like it just getting worse and worse. But I remember I had my own green room because the rest of the featured cast had all filmed their bits, and my scene was kept on getting delayed throughout the day. And I remember waiting in the green room with an extra, and she was Caucasian, and she was like to me, we were just talking about the state, the climate of the industry right now, and I kid you not, she said to me, yeah, it's been kind of hard for me, they're prioritizing your people. So it's been tough. Uh, I was just like, uh, what? What? Like, your people? Like, I barely get auditions. And when I do, I go for it full throttle because I have no other choice. And it's kind of like just disregarding a whole revolution. Like, we need this. It's important. You've always had your time. You know what I mean? Like, white people have always dominated the industry. If like we get like our pinky toe in the door, like that's major for us. And to be dismissed like that, I was just a bit like, again, like I didn't know better. Like, and you only think about these things after they happen. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's part of like scarcity mindset that I do not want to be associated with. So I didn't. I was, minding my own business after that. But I really felt the disrespect afterwards. And it was kind of bittersweet that I didn't say anything because, I was on that set because I earned my position on that set. Anyways, enough with the reasons why, or the experiences I've had why representation needs to still be addressed in the industry. But I want to get into the good parts of it. When you represent someone on screen, especially from a marginalized group in society, you give them power to stand on their own 2 feet. You don't have to be the same exact person that they are to represent them. Similar traits in a South Asian body, like if we're talking about we've got a company CEO and they're South Asian, a South Asian person will look at that person and think, well, if Valish can be the top of the company head, why can't I? Or if we've got a baker that's really confident and he's South Asian, well, Bilal's great. His confidence is great. Like, I could take something from that. I could take a page out of his book and implement that in my life. White people have the liberty of seeing themselves daily. South Asian people, I feel like the reason why we dwell on so much talk, outside noise of what other people will think, is because we don't let ourselves think about what we want to do with our lives, because we don't have any screen representation that shows people living differently. The South Asian lens is very controlled and misinterpreted, especially when it's featured on mainstream TV. I feel like pioneers like Mindy Kaling are helping changing that, Lily Singh, but there is still a long way to go. And the only way to keep the revolution going is by people being brave enough to step forward and do the change. Be the gap that you don't see. Fill it. Fill it and fill it proud. Because that's how you're going to attract more opportunity, more people coming through the door. Stand up. In my previous episode, I spoke about the importance of representing yourself. And that is so important, especially at the beginning. You must learn who you are and then represent it authentically and give yourself the grace to change with time. That's okay. But you must always keep a sense of truth to your representation. And then the rest is a cyclical structure. It will bring in more people and the cycle will continue to spin. Be yourself because it will attract more authenticity. And diversity will change the world. It's crazy that it's 2026 and we're still having this conversation about diversity. But when I tell you it's so needed, it's so needed. We are just too evolved in culture to not include ourselves on cultural shows or movies. Like, I don't think there is a world or a country out there that is completely one color. And if there is, girl, I don't want to go there because that's scary. When you are exposed to different cultures, languages, nationalities, everyone brings a different perspective in. And I feel like this is what the world is missing. It's that lack of connection. It's that lack of normalization that these people are just like me. Yes, you can be in China, but like we both could like Hannah Montana. You know what I mean? It's like we've got pop culture, but it's not represented on screen. It's always made to feel like these are two separate parts of the world. But we need that homogenization. Is that the right word? Girl, I hope so. The world is a melting pot and it should be exposed on TV as such. I won't stop until I bring more South Asian people through that door. And I'm telling you, girl, I already see a beautiful shift happening. I went to watch Cinderella yesterday with my sisters and I had a great time. And one of the reasons I wanted to go watch that show in particular was because my TikTok friend Amol was part of the ensemble and I knew he had dance background, but seeing it in person and the joy in his eyes when he moved, I was gagged. I was really liked him. Girl, you a dancer. Like, you epic. Like, for real, like, if you haven't watched Cinderella and it's coming to your city, make sure you go get your tickets because it's run by Rifco, which is a charity company, I believe. And I just think their incentive is amazing to bring British South Asian stories to light, and we need more of it. And who knows, I might be featuring in the next couple of projects. Who knows? We never know. But yeah, shout out to you, Amol. But please keep raising your voice. Share your story. Because when you share your story, you're helping the community highlight what really is important and what is not. I'm sure there are things I've missed in this episode. This is just episode 1 of Representation Matters. There will be a sequel to this eventually, but I really want you guys to know that it starts with you and then the community will follow. You do your part, the people will come. Because if it's in your heart, then I guarantee someone else is feeling it too. And when two hearts collide, it's like two flames colliding. It will grow into a bigger fire and you will get your spotlight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something through this lesson. Lesson? Girl, when did I become a teacher? Hope you've learned something through this episode. Hope I've been intentional. Until next time, greater things are always to come. And get my book on Amazon now, exclusively. Lose to Love, talking all things love, loss, and healing. Mwah. Bye.
If you got a little vision that you want to see through, the intentional podcast, the one for you.